Good afternoon, Palm, Westphalia, and welcome to this edition of PDubTV. I am Nathan Buckley. Austin Banghart, Kenzie Andrews, and Emily Hankspa join me out in the field reporting. We start today's episode by talking about how the sixth graders have experienced a new change in the way they have learned. Kenzie Andrews has more on the story.
So the sixth graders come to my classroom for English Language Arts 6, and then they have science and social studies, and then a class called EduSkills. And so each class is about an hour, 50 minutes or so, and in between every class they get a 5-minute break. So it's basically like going to other classes, except they're staying in one big room.
I think our model, the scheduling model we have now is much more conducive for building not only an ease of transition into our building, but also for organizational skills, for our sixth graders' study skills, and then building a real solid and authentic relationship with the educator. So I think it's working well. Big part of why it's working so well and why our model is champion is first and foremost because of the educator we have in there.
I think that some of them like switching, and I think that some of them like staying in there because they don't want to leave for the 5-minute break. They just stay there. I think that having sixth grade where it is semi-self-contained, the way that it is now, makes it an easier transition for those sixth graders to merge into an actual middle school atmosphere where they're going to their locker in between every single class and making sure that they have all their materials and just getting used to having a different teacher every single hour, but they have the same teacher for 4 in a row and then they switch.
It really stemmed from our school improvement team. Our school improvement team, helps make most of our decisions in this building. It's comprised of all of our department leaders like Coach Bayshore, Mrs. McGee, Mrs. Roth, Mr. W, so on and so forth. I think it's 9 educators that form our school improvement team, and when they looked at our sixth grade model, they just felt like having our sixth graders rotate so many times during the day wasn't conducive to building organizational skills or study skills, or even more importantly, transitioning them into this building. Our SIT felt like we just took our sixth graders out of the elementaries and just threw them to the wolves and put them in a high school model where they were rotating just like a senior would. And the SIT felt like they needed a little bit more time together in one room, and in this case, 4 hours a day, to build organizational skills, to build social skills, to build relationships with the educator and with each other. And I think it's been positive. It's been seamless, and I think it's been effective.
Thanks, Kenzie. Interesting things going on down there in the middle school wing. This year, PW gained approximately 34 new students and staff. After a semester at Palm, Westphalia, how are they liking it here? I sat down with a few teachers to see their thoughts on it. How do you like PW after the first semester?
I love it so far. I really enjoy the classes, all of my students, the staff that I work with, the parents, all of the support from the community. It's been really enjoyable, and I absolutely love working here.
What's your favorite part of Palm, Westphalia?
My favorite part, obviously, is my students. They're awesome. I love all the different personalities and all the different characters that they bring to my room. I love when they share things with me, and I can share stuff with them, and we laugh. It's a good time, so I really enjoy all the kids.
All right, what do you think of Palm, Westphalia after your first semester?
Palamo, the students in itself say a lot about the school, and that's why, this year you ranked 18th.
Thanks, Nathan. Keep up the good work. And now, a lesson from one of PW's legends, a man who needs no introduction. It's now time for That's Carrie Interesting.
Okay, a fun fact. Did you know that given any place to pick your nose, people will pick their nose in their car more than any other place? More people die from getting hit in the head from coconuts than by getting killed by sharks. 150 a year. Did you know that a billy goat will pee on its head to get females to be more attracted to him? Did you know that Virginia actually is further west than West Virginia?
I did not know that.
Yes.
Actually, now that you mention it.
Almost heaven, West Virginia. Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Interesting.
Yes. Did you know that?
I did not know that, actually.
Yes.
That was very interesting. Speaking of interesting, the city of Puamo turned their basketball court this year into an ice rink. Austin went to investigate.
All right, thanks, Buckley. Now I'm going to go to Randy and Wanda Zing's house, and I'm going to ask them some questions about the ice skating rink and how they feel about it. How do you guys like the ice skating rink?
Yeah, we really like it. It's bringing a little bit of small hometown fun into downtown Puamo. It's really neat to see when you come home. When I come home at night, the lights are on out there on the skating rink, and there's kids out there playing and having fun. It just kind of brings the small town charm to downtown Puamo.
Okay. Do you guys think it was a good idea that they made this ice skating rink?
I think it was a great idea. It brings a lot of different people to the community. We see a lot of people out there using it. And yeah, I definitely think that it was great for the community.
Do you think that they'll make it again in the future?
We sure hope so. We've put a little bit of investment into it to set it up so that it's more of a rink versus just a puddle out there. And as long as we can get the word out that it's there for use and the weather cooperates with cold weather to keep it frozen, hopefully more and more kids and parents will go out and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, you two. That was awesome information. Now back to you, Buckley.
Thanks, Austin. That sounds like fun. The NFL has been in the news lately for the protesting of the national anthem started by ex-49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. Emily has more on the story.
So it's kind of a difficult subject because we have freedom of speech in our country, but yet the professional football players are at work. And freedom of speech is fine for your own personal opinions, but if you're working for somebody, you probably need to find out if it's approved by your boss, the National Football League, or your team owners, to see if it's proper or not. Well, the purpose of their protest is to try to raise awareness for certain issues, injustice and unfairness and mistreatment of African Americans and any other minorities, I believe. But as to what punishment there should be, I don't know if they should be punished, but I think they could be punished because they were, as I mentioned before, they were at work, and it wasn't their own private time. It wasn't their own individual chance to speak out. I mean, if they want to protest, they would probably need to do it after a game or some evening. So they could be punished.
So I know there's a lot of opinions out there about kneeling during the national anthem, and I'm just going to give an opinion you don't hear very often, and that's that the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. He was actually sitting for a while, but actually he met with a veteran, and he told him maybe you should kneel instead, because kneeling is still a sign of respect. And so that's what he's been doing. So I do give him kind of some props on that. Some people say it's not really the place for it, but as an athlete, maybe that is a good time for it, because he's making a statement, but he's not interrupting the game. Yeah, he could do it other places, but I think freedom of speech is important, and I think it's a worthy cause as well. It's not like he's trying to promote a brand or something like that. He does recognize that, police brutality is a real thing. It's especially real for minorities. I mean, if you look at the numbers, you are more likely to be hurt by a police officer if you are a minority. So I think it's a worthy cause. And I understand why people disagree with it, but I still think he's doing it in somewhat of a respectful way.
Thanks, Emily. The national anthem is definitely something we should stand and put our hands over our hearts for. And that's all we got today. Thank you for tuning in. I am Nathan Buckley from Austin. Emily and Kenzie, have a wonderful day and stay up. Go Pirates.